It's not easy to start a story, especially when it's one that's completely original. There's no established lore or characters to bring in a certain fan base. Your fan base must be completely drawn in based on the quality of your new storytelling. And that high level of storytelling is what is demonstrated here in the Land of Waves arc. This first arc of Naruto helped draw in so many supporters of the series, such as myself, into an appreciation of this anime for many years to come. But what makes this arc so impactful? Today, I'll be exploring some of my favorite elements about this arc and its overall excellence. To make this video more concise, I'll break down all of the major points of what I think makes this arc so great. Those reasons happen to be great characterization, realistic and coherent storytelling, fantastic action scenes, and great dialogue. Great characterization is imperative when writing a good story. Simply put, it's really difficult for the audience to care about your story when we don't care about your characters. And when writing great characters, the writer must establish who they are, not just as characters in a story, but as people. People that feel and seem relatable. People that the audience can understand and resonate with. A character whose behaviors are in lockstep with his or her motivations show an attention to detail that the audience will be able to follow along with. Personality is another key element when talking about characterization. And as we all know, people are very unique and have different behaviors that oftentimes are in contrast with other people's personality types. Throughout the arc, Kishimoto communicates how Naruto is intended to be a direct and reckless person. These personality traits are communicated in the arc, like when he blatantly calls out Inari for complaining about the issues going on with Gato and his gang taking over his land, or how Haku's calm and caring nature is expressed during his final battle when he refuses to kill Sasuke or Naruto, despite that being his objective as a hired shinobi. He instead intentionally misses attacking any of Sasuke's vital organs, but rather knocks him unconscious when we know countless other shinobi would have killed him in the same situation. Haku speaks about how the way of shinobi is very hard for him, and that is reflected by his actions. These behaviors from the characters involved reflect the personalities they portray on screen to where their interactions seem so believable. This in turn not only creates interest, but gives a strong sense of realism to the story. Speaking of realism, being able to communicate a sense of realistic behavior in a story about ninjas with superpowers sounds like an uphill climb on the surface. But this is where the appreciation of early Naruto comes into effect. This arc of Naruto, while obviously a fiction story, is so grounded in a realistic scenario that you as the viewer are able to comprehend the storyline while also making sense of the scene-by-scene actions moving forward. Let's summarize the plot here for a second. 4 professional ninjas from a village are hired by a bridge builder to protect him and his fellow builders as they work to create a bridge that would help their land become more available for merchants and traders across other regions. This is a rather small land with few, if any, other trading outposts. So this future bridge holds the key to this small land gaining any semblance of economic prosperity. Unfortunately, the town is essentially controlled by a mobster named Gato, who controls much of the income that is brought into the land. Creation of the bridge will destroy his business, so he sets out to kill the main bridge builder. Into the story goes Zabuza and Haku, 2 rogue shinobi hired by Gato for the assassination of the bridge builder, and thus the coming conflict between the shinobi of the Hidden Leaf and the hired assassins carries on from there. That's a brief summary of the Land of Waves arc, which gives a quick, coherent, and understandable description of a series of events that leads up to much of the main conflict and the actions we see afterwards. From that, you can identify the major players in the arc, the reasoning behind each decision made, and an understanding of the story's direction. A good story isn't a convoluted mess of incoherent information and multiple subplots mixed with a revolving door of side characters. No, a good story, as subjective as that is, usually has ingredients of a plot that makes sense, believable characters, and a clear message being communicated. And these ingredients are littered throughout this arc, and all the events represented from start to finish. On the topic of the events during this arc, none are more exciting than the fighting scenes here. This arc really showcases some of the best of shonen anime. The attention to detail, the standout visuals, as well as the unveiling of unique abilities are all displayed throughout this arc. You have to admit, Naruto getting influenced by the Kyuubi chakra in pure rage after thinking Sasuke died is one of the most iconic moments in anime history. Or how about Kakashi revealing the lightning blade for the first time in this series? All the hand signs, the different jutsu, the tactical strategies, even the shit talking were all moments that made this arc so intriguing and added to the overall excitement and seamlessly led to the finale. I think we've all heard of Talk no Jutsu, Naruto's uncanny ability to influence the behaviors of people through his speeches are prevalent throughout the series that's named after him. But maybe his greatest moment of Talk no Jutsu is revealed during the end of the arc with his speech to Zabuza after Haku's killed.
I only wish he was alive to feel it.
Get away! Get away from him, you scum!
Stop! Use your head.
Well, what about you, Zabuza? You gonna let him do that?
Be quiet, you fool. Haku's dead. What does it matter?
What? You mean you could just stand there and watch him get treated like a dog? You and Haku were together for years. Doesn't that mean anything?
You don't understand the way of shinobi. I merely used him just as Gato used me.
Huh?
Now it's over. His usefulness is at an end. The loss of his strength and skill, yes, that means something to me. But the boy, nothing.
If you mean that, you're an even bigger rat than I thought.
Okay, that's enough. Calm down, Naruto. He's not the enemy. Not right now.
Ah! Shut up! Far as I'm concerned, he's enemy number one! Why, you ungrateful! After everything he did for you, Haku lived for you!
Is there someone who's precious to you?
You were the most important thing in the world to him!
For me, there is only one person who matters, and my purpose is to protect and serve him, and that purpose is what gives me my strength.
And he meant nothing to you? Nothing at all?
The way of shinobi is very difficult for me.
While he was sacrificing everything for you, you never felt anything at all for him?
But I will do anything to see that his dream is fulfilled, even become shinobi if I must.
And if I become stronger, does that mean I'll become as cold-hearted as you are? He threw his life away. And for what? For you and your dream?
I want only to make his dream come true. That is my dream.
You never let him have a dream of his own, but he didn't care.
I was happy.
Talk no Jutsu jokes aside, his speech is probably the most impactful part of this arc and is such a pleasant surprise in this series. Just before this speech, Naruto's moments away from punching Haku into another dimension. This is the same Haku who Naruto thinks has killed his teammate. He has every right to feel pure anger towards him. But he doesn't. As he looks at Haku's lifeless corpse being mistreated by Gato, he snaps. Because despite Haku being his enemy, he knows what he's seeing is wrong and he can't stand for it. This is where we see Naruto's most unique trait. Sure, we've seen his moments of being an idiot or a goofball. But now we see him display this unique ability of understanding the pain and sorrows of other people and standing up for what's right, regardless of the circumstances. Zabuza states how the way of shinobi is partly predicated on their usefulness, measured by things such as strength and power. Naruto, despite being a 12-year-old junior shinobi, looks his enemy dead in the eyes and speaks to his humanity, resonating with the innate empathy us human beings have for each other and rejecting this notion that shinobi are weapons of warfare. His powerful statements bring himself to tears, but also bring Zabuza to tears as well, as they help him realize the humanity that bonds us people together. The humanity he probably tried burying years ago. Some other examples of great dialogue in this arc are when Haku teaches Naruto about how true strength derives from protecting those you care about. Naruto teaching Inari about courage and standing up for what's right no matter the consequences is another key moment I thought about in this arc. Lastly, Sasuke's dying conversation with Naruto is another standout moment from this arc. These events help shape the arc into a great experience for the viewers, and does well in helping us care about the characters and where they go for the rest of the series. The Land of Waves arc is not perfect, but it's about as well done an introductory arc as you can find for an anime or story in general. This arc is what drew me into a series I've watched plenty of times, and as I've gotten older, I've grown to appreciate it beyond just the action and fighting scenes, to the story, design, and messages communicated throughout the arc. Definitely one of my favorite arcs in anime. Hey, this is my first video in years, so I just want to say thank you to everyone who took the time to watch this all the way until the end. Whether you agree or disagree, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like. And consider subscribing if you like content like this. I'll be making a lot more in the future. Also, feel free to comment on any future video ideas and follow me on social media. I'll leave it down in the description below. Anyways, thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.